What if I told you a man from 400 years ago just woke up on a frozen planet, stronger than ever, smarter than most, and he just asked one question that made the galaxy tremble? Who governs now? This is not just a story. This is a warning. If you are new to the channel, then please subscribe to the channel and like the video and tell us where you are watching from now. Let's jump into the story. Vestra 9 was a quiet planet, silent, frozen, no birds, no wind. Only ice and the hum of machines. Dr. Naomi Everett stood on the edge of the excavation site. The cold bit through her thermal suit. Her breath fogged the visor of her helmet. She tapped a button and zoomed in on the data feed. Something was buried deep below. Her assistant, Remy Clarkson, approached with a grin. He carried 2 steaming cups of synthcaf. You really think this anomaly is worth it? He asked. Naomi took the cup, but didn't answer. She stared at the blinking red dot on her scanner. It's not a rock, she said. It's too symmetrical, too perfect, Remy chuckled. So maybe it's a frozen storage crate, or some old mining junk. Naomi shook her head. No, this is older, deeper, and it's not junk. The 2 scientists stood in silence as the drilling machines roared to life. Steam hissed from the ground as layers of ancient ice melted. Technicians worked fast, focused, like ants, unearthing a buried god. Hours passed. Then one of the machines screeched to a stop. Naomi rushed over. What she saw made her heart stop. A chamber, metallic, circular, its walls covered in symbols that looked almost human. But they were older than any known language, smoother, colder. Remy joined her and whistled. Okay, now I'm interested. The team worked quickly to expose the chamber. Sensors scanned its structure. No signs of radiation. No known tech signature. It was dead. Or asleep. We need to open it, Naomi said. You sure? Remy asked. We should wait for clearance. By the time we get clearance, someone else will take it from us, she said. We found it. We open it. Inside the base, the atmosphere grew tense. Lights flickered. Data feeds spiked. Someone mentioned a power fluctuation coming from the chamber. But there was no power source inside. Nothing visible. They cut through the last layer of ice. A blast of cold air hit them like a punch. It wasn't natural. It was too cold. Unnaturally preserved. Naomi stepped forward. Her gloved hand touched the chamber's door. It was smooth. Warmer than expected. Remy, help me with this panel, she said. Together, they triggered a manual override. The door creaked. Ice cracked. Pressure hissed. And then it opened. Inside stood a man. Tall, muscular, bare-chested, covered in frost. His arms were wrapped in metal. Not armor, not robotics. Something in between. His eyes were closed, his skin pale, but his body, it wasn't decayed. It wasn't aged. It looked alive. This can't be, Remy whispered. He's human, Naomi said. But how? Remy scanned the chamber. This thing predates our space age. It must be over 400 years old. But he's not frozen. Not like normal cryo. He's preserved perfectly. Naomi felt something stir deep inside her. This wasn't just an ancient human. This was a message, a warning, or a test. A technician yelled from behind. The monitors were going crazy. The man's vitals were spiking. His heart was beating, fast. He's waking up, Naomi said. The man opened his eyes. They were glowing, faintly, blue, cold, like the ice that birthed him. He didn't speak. He didn't move. He just stared. Naomi took a step back. Remy froze in place. Who are you? She asked. The man tilted his head. His voice was low, steady. Who governs now? The room fell silent. What did he say? Remy asked. Naomi answered slowly. He wants to know who rules the world. The man stepped out of the chamber. Ice cracked beneath his bare feet. Frost followed him. Machines sparked. Lights dimmed. Naomi stood in awe. Fear and wonder mixing in her chest. This wasn't just a discovery. This was a turning point. Something ancient had awoken, and nothing would be the same again. The man stood still. Ice dripped from his metal arms. His eyes glowed faintly blue. The room remained quiet. No one moved. Naomi Everett kept her hands raised, not in fear, in respect. The man didn't seem aggressive, but there was something powerful in the way. He breathed. Like every second he was awake, the world held its breath. Remy Clarkson whispered beside her. Is he really human? Naomi nodded. He's more than that. He's enhanced. But this isn't our tech. The man looked around the lab. His eyes scanned everything. The walls, the lights, the uniforms, the logos. Where am I? He asked. His voice was deep and calm. No panic, no confusion. You're on Vestra 9, Naomi said. A research colony in the Outer Rim. And the year? He asked. Remy hesitated. Naomi answered. Year 3024. The man blinked once. No shock, no emotion, only silence. I was never meant to. Wake up this soon, he said. Naomi stepped forward. Who are you? Arlen Graves, he replied. Earth Defense Unit. Last generation. Remy tilted his head. That program was shut down centuries ago. Not shut down, Arlen said, buried. Suddenly, red lights flashed on the main control screen. Incoming message. Encrypted. Naomi checked the feed. The Central Alliance wants a report. They intercepted the signal when he woke up. Of course they did, Remy muttered. Nothing stays secret for long. Arlen walked toward a monitor. The crew tensed. He stared at the screen, then turned to Naomi. Who governs humanity now? Naomi hesitated. The Central Alliance manages human affairs, under the observation of the High Council. The High Council is alien, Arlen said. Yes, Naomi replied. Arlen looked down at his hands. The metal glinted under the lab lights. So we lost. We didn't lose, Naomi said. We survived. We adapted. Arlen didn't reply. He walked slowly through the room. His steps were heavy but controlled. Everyone stepped aside. Something about him demanded space. Your body, Remy said. How are you alive after all this time? I was part of a classified experiment, Arlen said, designed to preserve a soldier beyond time. Cryo wasn't enough. We used nanits. Biofusion. The project was abandoned when the war ended. What war? Naomi asked. The war that never made it into your history books, he answered. Naomi looked at Remy. They both knew what that meant. Buried truths. Erased records. Secrets powerful enough to rewrite everything. Arlen turned to Naomi. You woke me. That means you need help. Or something is coming. We didn't know what we were waking, she admitted. But now you're here, and people will want answers. Outside the lab, a ship landed. Not human, alien, sleek and silent. Envoy Rilsa, a representative from the benevolent species, stepped out, tall, graceful, distant. She entered the lab with 2 guards. This is unauthorized, she said. The human subject must be transferred immediately. Naomi stood firm. He's not a subject. He's a person. And he's under our care. Rilsa's eyes narrowed. His presence violates interstellar code. Humanity is not permitted to reactivate old military prototypes. Arlen stepped forward. I am not a prototype. I am a man. Rilsa studied him. Your existence is dangerous. So is yours, Arlen replied. Tension filled the room. Guards placed hands on weapons. Remy took a step back. Reelsa raised her hand. This is not a debate. Hand him over or face consequences. Naomi looked at Arlen. He gave a small nod, then looked at the exit. We have to leave, he said. Now? Remy asked. You want to run? No, Arlen said. I want to find the truth. And I can't do that in chains. Naomi hesitated, then nodded. Let's go. Alarms blared, lights flickered. Arlen moved fast. Faster than any normal human. He disarmed 2 guards without harming them. With Naomi and Remy behind him, he escaped through the maintenance tunnels. Envoy Reelsa sent out a signal. Her voice echoed in the lab. This is not over. He will be found. Inside the tunnels, Naomi caught her breath. Where do we go now? Arlen looked ahead, his face calm. We find someone who remembers who we were, he said, before we became shadows of ourselves. Naomi looked into his glowing eyes. She realized something. He wasn't just a relic. He was a reminder that humanity once stood on its own, and maybe, just maybe, could again. The starship Dawnbringer floated in low orbit above Vestronine. Inside, the crew prepared for departure. The mission was simple. Transport Arlen Graves to Central Command. No delays. No questions. Captain Simeon Hargrove stood on the bridge. Tall and tired, he had flown more missions than he could count. He didn't like surprises. Arlen was a big one. He looked over at Naomi Everett. She stood beside Arlen near the cargo hold, her arms crossed. He doesn't look like a prisoner, Simeon said. He's not, Naomi replied. He's a witness, and maybe something more. Simeon sighed. The council won't see it that way. Orders are orders. Arlen didn't speak. He stood still, hands behind. His back, eyes on the stars. The ship launched. Engines roared. The journey had begun. 2 hours into the flight, trouble started. A sharp alarm echoed through the halls. The lights dimmed. The ship shook. Simeon ran to the control panel. We're being pulled out of warp, he said. Unauthorized gravity field. Remy Clarkson shouted from the back. That's not a natural force. Someone is stopping us. Outside, a ship appeared. Sleek, black, alien. It belonged to the Qatari, a strategic species known for war and silence. Commander Cephal contacted the Dawnbringer. You carry something that belongs to the past, he said. Simeon tried to negotiate. This man is under human protection. You have no right, Cephal interrupted. He is a threat to peace. Surrender him. Arlen stepped forward. His voice was quiet but steady. You fear what I remember. You remember a world that failed, Cephal replied. The alien ship charged weapons. Simeon looked at his crew. They were outgunned, outmatched. We can't win this, Simeon whispered. Arlen turned to Naomi. Then let me show you how we used to fight. He entered the weapons bay. His hands moved fast. He activated systems the crew never touched. Old systems, forgotten codes, buried programs. The ship came alive. Shields brightened. Targeting systems. Locked in. Arlen moved like a soldier reborn. He gave instructions with calm precision. Reroute power from cargo. Boost ventral thrusters. Release the magnetic decoys. Naomi watched in awe. This was more than training. This was instinct. The Qatari opened fire. Dawnbringer spun, dodged, returned fire. For every blast they took, they gave back 2. Simeon stared at the screen. How? Is he doing this? He remembers a time before we relied on others. Naomi said. The battle lasted 13 minutes. Dawnbringer held. The Qatari ship pulled back, damaged. Arlen didn't cheer. He simply shut down the systems and walked back to the bridge. They will return, he said, stronger, smarter. But we survived, Naomi said. Yes, Arlen replied. Because we used our own strength. Word of the battle spread fast. Human colonies heard the news. For the first time in years, someone had pushed back. Not with council help, not with alien aid, with human skill. Some called Arlen a hero. Others called him a risk. But no one ignored him. A message came through private channels. Encrypted. From an old ally of Naomi's, Lena DeVry. Once a top engineer, now retired. Living off the grid. Naomi played the message. I saw the footage, Lena said. I never thought I'd see someone fly like that again. I want to help. But not from here. Come find me. You know where. Naomi looked at Arlen. She's good. Very good. Then we go, he said. Captain Simeon spoke up. The council won't let this go. You've become a symbol. Then it's time they remembered who we are, Arlen said. They landed on a moon base near the asteroid belt. Lena was waiting. Older than Naomi remembered, but sharp as ever. She looked Arlen up and down. You're taller than I expected. I've heard that before, he replied. Lena grinned. I saved some old gear, scraps from the last war. I think you'll like it. They set up in an abandoned hangar, built weapons, repaired systems, taught young pilots what real flight looked like. Naomi watched Arlen lead, not with orders, with action. She saw people change. They stood straighter, spoke louder, moved with purpose. Arlen didn't promise victory. He promised something better. Belief. One night, Remy asked him, Why do you care? This isn't your time anymore. Arlen answered, Because weakness isn't in our blood. We forgot our strength. I'm here to help us remember. News of rebellion spread, quiet at first, and louder. Colonies asked questions, demanded answers. High Council noticed, and they were not pleased. The council met in silence. 12 beings, some human, most not. They watched the recordings from Vestronine. They studied the flight logs from the Dawnbringer. They saw the battle, the tactics, the victory. At the center of it all stood one man, Arlen Graves. He is not a threat, said Councillor Thierek. He is a reminder. And reminders are dangerous. Others nodded. The vote was quiet but firm. He must be stopped. On a small mining moon, Arlen worked in shadows. He had no army, number fleet, only a few old ships and a growing number of voices. People who had seen too much silence, too much fear, too much control. They called themselves Ember, not a rebellion. Not yet. Just an idea. Arlen stood in front of the group. Naomi was beside him. Remy was in the back, checking the perimeter. We are not here to fight a war, Arlen said. We are here to remember who we were, and who we still are. His voice was calm, steady. Every word felt like it had weight. When we gave away our strength, we gave away our future. Today, we take it back. Across the stars, others listened. I.S. Soren, a historian, watched the growing signals. She had studied lost records for years. She knew the name Arlen Graves. She thought it was a myth. Now, he was real. She packed her notes and boarded a cargo ship. In the colonies. Arden Voss, a former soldier, turned off his government transmitter. He put on his old gear and walked into the night. The Ember movement was growing. Arlen knew it wouldn't last. They'll come for us, he told Naomi. We can't outrun them, but we can outthink them. Naomi frowned. What do you have in mind? He pointed to an old map. A place known only to a few. The Grand Archive. A vault of knowledge. Ancient laws, lost truths. It floated in deep space, neutral, untouched by war. We're going to send a message, he said. From there? Remy asked. That's impossible, Arlen smiled. So was surviving 400 years. But here we are. The plan was simple. Get in, unlock the archive's beacon, broadcast a truth the council buried long ago. Naomi prepared the codes. Lena helped rebuild a stealth ship. Arden trained the new volunteers. Mila searched for the right words. The last night before the mission, Arlen stood alone. The stars above him were quiet. Endless. Naomi joined him. Are you ready? I've been ready since the day I woke up, he said. They launched at dawn. The stealth ship was small, fast, silent. The archive looked like a forgotten moon. Gray, smooth, lifeless. But inside, it was alive with history. They entered undetected. Arlen led the way. Doors opened at his touch. Old systems recognized his code. The past welcomed him back. They reached the central chamber. A single console stood in the middle, cold, waiting. This is it, Mila said. Let's light the fire, Remy added. Naomi activated. The relay. The screen blinked. Access granted. Arlen stepped forward. He looked into the lens and spoke. My name is Arlen Graves. 400 years ago, I was put to sleep to protect a secret. Not a weapon, not a plan, a truth. His voice echoed through space. We were not meant to be ruled, not by fear, not by silence. We were meant to choose, to build, to dream. We forgot that. He paused, but we can remember. The signal spread. To mining colonies, trade hubs, forgotten outposts. It reached soldiers, teachers, workers, thinkers. It reminded them, on the council world, alarms blared. They've breached the archive, a guard shouted. Shut it down, a commander ordered. But it was too late. The message was out. Forever. Back on. The archive. Arlen turned to leave. We should go, Naomi said. But Arlen stopped. You go, he said. I'll slow them down. No, she replied. You're the future, he said. I'm the ember. One last spark, she wanted to argue. But she knew. Arlen stayed behind. The ship escaped. The archive lit up with council ships. Fire and light filled the stars. And then, silence. Naomi watched from orbit. He's gone, Remy whispered. Not gone, she said. Just passed on. Months later, children on distant worlds asked about the Ember Man. Historians wrote books. The council remained. But it was no longer trusted. Small changes began. Slow, steady, like sparks in the dark. The ember had not burned out. It had become a fire. And in quiet corners of the galaxy, people remembered. We are not weak. We are not lost. We are not done. We are only just beginning.